Hello, 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 and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Today is day 4. Today is your day of talking about moving forward. Today is the day that we get to celebrate you. Today is the day that we get to acknowledge you. Today is the day that we get to announce the winner of our sweepstakes. Today is the day that we get to talk about your self honoring choices. Today we get to talk about you stepping into the grandeur of you. Today is a beautiful day. And what makes it especially spectacular is you being here. So I just want to take a pause for a minute and acknowledge you for showing up. If this is your second day, your fourth day, your third day, if you're watching this in the replay, however you're taking in the information that we're sharing, thank you. Thank you for choosing you. Thank you for choosing to move your life forward. And thank you for making the self-honoring choice to show yourself love, because that's what you've done today. So I want to revisit some of what we've gone over the process of the last 4 days. I always forget this. I forget to put my chat on, and then I see things coming in, and I'd like to talk to you. And of course, I have to put my glasses on because I cannot read this without them. And so I'm putting my chat on right now so I can see, because there are people coming in. Yay! That's right. You are stepping into your grandeur, beautiful lady. So this is what I want you to know. You are not alone. I'm going to share some statistics with you that I shared with you on day 2, and I'm going to give you a few more so that you really understand the gravity of conditioning. It appears that many of us, we go through our life and everything is okay. And then sometimes things aren't okay. But here's some statistics that I shared with you earlier, and then as I said, I'm going to add a few more. 80% of the people that are in relationships are unfulfilled or unhappy. 1 out of 2 women experience violence in relationships. Right now, we are seeing the numbers of domestic violence rising. Right now, more people are in therapy and taking drugs to alter their mental well-being with the hope of emotional well-being. So the pharmaceutical companies are making a fortune of you not understanding your conditioning. That's a lot to unpack. A few other statistics. This is how insidious that conditioning is. Most people live within a 20-mile radius of where they grew up. And why is that? Because you've been conditioned to live in a certain area. Most people, and I was very surprised at this, don't leave their country of origin and don't have the desire. That's the part I thought was astonishing. Because some people may not have the means to leave, but then when asked if you have the means to go, would you go experience another country? The answer is no. Because we're comfortable. We're comfortable being who we are. We're comfortable living the conditioning that we're living. It's easier not to look at yourself fully. It's easier not to go for it all when you know that there is so much possibility in you, but to stay safe exactly where you are. Right? But what I'm offering you is you completely stepping into your grandeur. What I'm offering you is the ability to have a life that's so good you can't even imagine what it feels like yet. And I know I've asked you, I said, what is it going to feel like when you're free? What is it going to feel like when you have whole self-acceptance? What is your life going to look like when you let go of what is shackling you? And I'm sure you have lofty dreams, but what I'm also sure of is you can't even see how great it's going to be. There is no way that the life that I currently live, even when things are going wonky, the grace that comes in, the understanding that comes in, the way I feel about myself for the choices that I make, even when they're challenging choices, is what clients say. I shared with you a while ago about one of the clients who said, I had no idea that I was always lying to myself and that I lied to everyone around me, and how great it feels now to be truthful with myself and others. She said, I had no idea my life can feel this good or be this good. And she already had a seemingly really good life. So what I really am asking you to do is what you really want to do for yourself. You want to step into your grandeur. You want to live the fullness of you. And that's why today we're celebrating you. That's why today we're acknowledging you. That's why today we have some sweepstakes winners. That's why today we're going to talk about the next steps of you stepping into your grandeur. That's why you are going to support us, Real Truth, and our mission, which is to touch every person that wants to, and everybody does. They might not know it yet, but to touch every person into living the fullest expression. Just think about that for a moment. Think about if we lived in a collective where you walk down the street, everyone speaks to each other. How would that feel? How would it feel that you walk into the dynamic of a big family gathering and there is no one disgruntled with anyone, although there are so many different opinions and levels of understanding, but everyone knows how to communicate honorably with each other? How would it feel that in your own home with your spouse, that you could really show who you are fully and be accepted? How would it feel if you could have real relationships with your children, your adult children, where you are friends and intimate with each other and really know each other? That's beauty. That's freedom. That's liberation. That comes from making self-honoring choices. That comes from excavating, examining, and releasing. What we're going to talk about a little bit later, I'm wearing it. I am the prize. We're going to talk about you stepping into your grandeur so you know that you are the prize. As you're watching me right now, say it in your mind while I'm talking. Keep saying it to yourself. I am the prize. Oh, there's more messages. Let me see what are over here. I like them, I like them, I like them. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, what I want you to know, unequivocally, is that you are not alone. If your life is good, you're going to make it better. If your life is great, you're going to make it superlative. If your life is not so good, you're up-leveling it. And when you do, you just don't up-level your life, you up-level the life of all around you. And I want to share a story with you that happened at the University of Quito, where I was speaking. And I think many of you know that I always knew that what I'm doing right now is what I was born to do. I just didn't do it. I knew it deep down inside. I didn't have the courage to do it. I didn't know how to make self-honoring choices. I had to go through my life process to get here. And so when I was younger, I used to hear all the time, stay out of grown folks' business. because I was the youngest person in the room all the time, wanting to give the adults the best advice I can give them at my 8-year-old self or 10-year-old self or 12-year-old self. So fast forward all the way to the University of Quito, I'm finally stepping into my grandeur. And I'm about to speak for the first time. And while I'm speaking, I'm telling the story of the relationship that I've shared with you. And I talk about how we are relational creatures, and yet in that, all of us don't take the time to really learn how to have relationships. That's what I'm saying. And as I'm saying that, at the end of the talk, and there's a production team there, there's a lot of media there. So there's press there and there's TV there. And at the end, we ask for anyone that wants to come up, share what they gathered from the talk that I've given. And the guy that was there, that was the producer for the news show, takes the mic and he can barely control himself. And before he utters his first word, he's crying to the point that he's almost inconsolable. And he pulls himself together. And he talks about how the men in his family, his brother, his father, his grandfather, all of them, treated their wives as if they were their children, meaning that they chastised their wives physically. He didn't want to call it beating. He didn't want to call it violence. He wanted to say that's how they're chastised. And he said, but he was different. Well, I could not have known at the time, but the woman that he was dating was also in the audience. She's a journalist. Afterwards, we had a conversation. And although he never hit her, he would verbally abuse her. Now, prior him sharing what he shared and me having a conversation with them afterwards, I had observed the two of them earlier, and I thought, oh, wow, I wonder if they're dating with each other. They're very flirty with each other. I would have never known the understory until they shared it. And why do I tell you that story now? Because there's an understory in all of us, and that understory comes from our conditioning. And yet, many of us are too afraid to look at it, don't want to step into the grandeur, afraid to excavate, because then you have to really learn yourself so you can love yourself. Afraid to examine, because then you have to take responsibility for the life that you're living. Afraid to release, because you don't know the unknown. But I'm here to tell you it's great, grand, and glorious. On the other side, it's magnificent, it's superlative, and it is for you. Okay, now I wasn't supposed to say all of that right now, but I just want you to know how important you are. Don't waste another day. Don't waste another hour not knowing that you are the prize. Put it this way, you are the prize. That you're valuable. Okay? Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about the love sheets really quickly because I promised you 21 minutes. Oh, yeah, we're going over 21 minutes today for sure. And we've got some prizes to give away. But pull up your love sheet. Pretty please with sugar on top. Pull it up. So on your love sheet that you received last night, this morning, it asks you to list 4 behaviors that you're ready to release. And then acknowledge how you want to celebrate those new thoughts you've experienced over the 4-day engagement. So when the screen comes back up and you're available to chat, I want you to just put one word of awareness that you have regarding something you've experienced over the 4-day engagement, okay? And then it asks you to imagine. We just talked about this. Imagine what your life is going to look like, and imagine how your life is going to feel when you excavate, examine, and release. And whatever you can imagine, however you think you're feeling, you're going to feel. It's going to be greater than that. But start where you are, write it down, and acknowledge yourself for writing it down. And then make sure, if you have not done the love sheets, we just didn't create these beautiful sheets for you to have them around and use them as scratch paper. We created them because we really want you to step into the grandeur of you. Because we want you to see yourself more fully, have a wholly fulfilling life, and live your life of possibility. Okay? Okay, so with that being said, we're going to have a drum roll because we've got some gifts to give away. Drum roll, please. Okay, Nicole has something to share with you.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me on again today. I have a couple of very exciting awards to announce. As you know, we've been hosting a collective referral sweepstakes, and the winner of that sweepstakes will win access to our free course, and will win a free course. The winner for the person who invited the most to our collective over this period of time is
Wait,
Andrea.
before you say the name, before you say the name,
Yes.
I think we got to give just a little dance roll again. We got to dance, celebrate for that person
Yes.
that really took the time.
Yes, and thank you so much to everyone who invited people to join the collective. It's a growing group, and it's really incredible to just watch this collective grow. So thank you to everyone who invited people to join us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, now say the name.
Oh, okay. So the winner of this prize is Andrea Himes.
Andrea, are you here? Everybody dance now.
Andrea, if you're here, please comment. Let us know.
Okay, and we've got another one.
Yes, our second prize is for people who really showed up at this event, and they commented, they participated, they interacted with others, and this prize is going to be a signed copy from Rashawn Renee of her book, 44 Hours in 21 Minutes, A Woman's Truth and Power. And in addition to the signed copy of the book, you will receive a special Real Truth tote. And on one side, it says, "I am the prize." On the other side, it says, "You are the prize." And personally, I use this tote all the time. I carry it with me to the grocery store. I carry it with me out on walks. And I always make sure that the "You are the prize" is facing outward so that people know when they pass by that they indeed are the prize. And so the winner of this amazing little bundle is Margaret Packer.
Thank you very much, Nicole. And we are celebrating each of you for being here. We're celebrating you for helping, supporting our collective grow. We have a big mission in the world. And you know what it is. It really is to eradicate the shame, the regret, the marginalization, the unconscious living of all who desire to live in their freedom. So we have this beautiful curriculum, and we want you to be part of this beautiful curriculum as part of your moving forward. Because as you are freeing yourself, as you are liberating yourself, you've heard me say it again and again, you really, really get to live in your power. So I want you to consider real truth as your friend, as your trusted advisor, as your confidant, as the person that wants as much for you, if not more, than you want for yourself. And earlier, I found this really beautiful song that I think so communicates how we want you to embody us, because it is absolutely how we embody you, meaning the love we have for you. And when I use the word love, I shared it earlier. What that means is my goal, my objective, and the entire team of Real Truth. They just aren't people that work here, work with us. They are people that are heart-centered. Everyone has gone through this course, Stepping Into the Grandeur-of-You. Everyone connects heart to heart on a weekly basis. We have a principle here called radical truthfulness, so that what we are putting in the world, we are always applying in our individual lives. So we absolutely are the collective. So I want you to take a listen to the words. Take a listen. I want you to listen to the words of this song. And then I got something to tell you. You've got a friend at Real Truth. You've got a collective of individuals who are here to support you, to up-level your life. And while you are up-leveling your life, you are going to learn to honor you more, to love you more. And this doesn't have to be a dark day in your life. There may be a lot of sunshine. There is more. So this offering into stepping into the grandeur of you is for the person that wants to live a life of fulfillment. It's for the person that really wants to see the fullness of who they can be. It's for the person that says, I am choosing to make self-honoring choices and live a life of whole self-acceptance. And that means that shame is eradicated. That means that regret is diminished. That means that you learn how to talk yourself through whatever it is you are going through to get to the other side of yourself in your wholeness. It means that you are personally liberated and that you become the model for all of those in your sphere. That's what this course is for. And if you're anything other than what I just described, then it's just not for you at this time. And you will evolve, fingers crossed, or you will live in stagnation and not see your possibility. But I am knowing that you will know eventually that you are the prize and that you matter, and that whole self-acceptance and fulfillment is the way of living and thriving, not just living and existing. So will you bring up the slides, please, that I want to share? So what we want to do with you is play with you for 7 weeks. It's a play date. It's a 7-week play date. And it is not easy, nor is it hard. It absolutely requires your commitment and your focus. And maybe for the first time, many of you are going to really get to see yourself clearly. So when you come being ready for a lot of loving. And for 44 minutes, and it's always over 44 minutes, as this is over 21 minutes right now. It's 44 minutes of solution-based engagement. And that means you and I are talking with other UEs in the group, because once you step into the grandeur, you are a UE. It is official. You are focusing you, your life, your words, your actions on you. And I, as your Uist, are right there with you every step of the way, being your friend, holding your hand. And we're going to put you in love seats. And by the time you complete and while going through it, you will start experiencing the most miraculous changes in you. Now, this is not an overnight situation. Don't think that. It doesn't happen that way. It is a progression. And we go through a deep dive of the modules. The first one is excavation. And in the excavation series of modules, every day, you're greeted with me. You get a love sheet. You get an audio. You get mindful communication every day. Because as you know, what we are doing is excavating you. And so for everything that you've learned from your seeding, everything that you learn from your familiar and societal conditioning, we have to look at that to make sure that the choices that you're going to be making are the choices that are really self-honoring. So you have to excavate and I have to be in your ear. And I stay in your ear. And I stay in your heart. I move in there. I take residency in your heart. And then we move into module 2. And module 2 is the examination module. As you know, it's the second step in the EER process, and that's when you really begin seeing yourself. And when you are examining yourself, you will find aspects of you that have been so deeply hidden that it will be shocking for you to see. And then we move you into the third step of the EER process, which is releasing. And when you release, you're going to start seeing the difference in how you're really choosing to be honored and held and loved and cherished by yourself and in all of your relationships. And you will release the relationships that no longer serve you, and you will leave space for more relationships to come into your life that are nurturing, fulfilling, that cherish you. You will even start treating yourself differently. Oh my gosh, when I went through this process, at one point I used to be told that I was too much because I have, there are things that I just prefer. And one of my girlfriends, I think you've heard this story before if you've been around a little while, she said, gosh, you're so fussy. You're so particular. And in the past, that offended me because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be particular. I don't want to be a handful. I don't want people to think I'm too much. But once I excavated, examined, and released, this is probably about my third or fourth time doing it at that point, I realized I have preferences. And so my preference, what she was speaking about specifically, is when we would dine out, there's a preference of where I sit in a restaurant. And she thought that was too much. Well, now, astonishingly to say, she has the same preference. And many of my girlfriends, once I explained to them, no, maybe I am particular, but I have preferences. And I think that every experience that I'm choosing to have should be an experience that delights me. So if I'm out at a restaurant, I want to be delighted not just by the food, not by the atmosphere, not just by the company, I want everything, which includes where my butt is in the seat at. Now, all of them have preferences. So I say that to say you get to release whatever it is that is no longer serving you. So here is the breakdown of everything that we're offering you. You have 14 live Zoom video sessions with me. You have this beautiful workbook that are more sheets like this, but not these. These are the love sheets that we created specifically for this course. You get the grandeur sheets, which means you are doing the deeper dive. You are going deep. You are stepping into your grandeur. So there is a lot of excavation that comes with that. And then we have 44 days of mindful communication. That's me being in your ear. Every day I'm in your ear. It's going to change the way you see yourself. It's going to change the way you honor yourself, and they will change the way you go to sleep. They will change the way you talk to yourself throughout the day. And then we give you 11 months of access to the course. So that means that anytime you want to come in and do another module, because each module has several components. If you need a specific component in that, you get to go back and have a refresher anytime for 11 months. Because as I shared with you earlier, this isn't a quick fix. This is you living the fullness of you. This is you excavating everything that's been seeded in you and that you've been living up until this point. So you will have to come back and refresh yourself so that you can strengthen your muscles of self-honor, of living a fulfilled life, because it won't feel natural in the beginning. And then we do the love seat. The love seat is one of my favorite things to do, because when I put someone in the love seat, always, 100% of the time, always, whoever goes in the love seat seems to be communicating what is needed at that time for all who are in the room. The love seat is so intimate, and it gives you a quantum leap into stepping into your fullness. So we will invite you to be in the love seat from week to week. And sometime I will just feel someone is needing it and ask them to come into the love seat virtually. It's a beautiful experience to have. So, and then you get to receive access to the private Facebook collective. We started it a little bit during this time together. And thank you for the beautiful Margaret, who was so engaging in it. And we're going to engage more in that, to really have that be the community that nurtures you, that supports you, and that fully sees you. So once you step into your grandeur, once you join the course, then you go directly over and introduce yourself, say where you're from, and just get some extra loving, some real extra communication of loving about yourself. It's where you get to be fully seen. And then, next slide, please. So with all of that, that would have a value of $87.94 if it was just a piecemeal offer. But it's a collective offer, and it's an offer for everyone, so it's only $9.87. And then, and because we really want to, super duper want to, put this messaging, put this understanding, put this way of being, put this information into you. And we know that the people that are around you have great influence. We're asking you to get 2 of your friends to join with you. So it'll be a total of 3 of you. So 2 friends and you. And then the 3 of you split the cost. So it's $329 a person. So when you register, now, of course, you can register by yourself and it's just for you, and you just want it to be you, and that's great. Fantastic. However, if you'd like to share it, we're asking that it is you and 2 friends. So it's the 3 of you. You split the cost of $329 each. When you fill out your registration, you put who your partners are. They'll have to put in their email so we can send the information to them as well so that they get the workbook, so that they can have access to the course. And that you can be in different locations doing that. And the reason we're doing that is because we know that right now, and not just right now, but what I am saying, it just didn't start now. It didn't start now that 80% of the people in relationships are unfulfilled. It didn't start now that 1 out of 2 women experience violence. It didn't start now that there are more drugs being sold to alter your mood and your behavior than any other time since the pharmaceutical industry's inception. That none of that just started. But what I mean by now is the time. Now is the time to move into the fullness of you and for you to take leadership and ownership of your life and the people in your circle to do the same so that you can grow together, so that you can thrive together, so that we really can live collectively in the world that we all want to see, which is peaceful, which is liberating, which is nurturing, which is supportive, which is kind, which is generous. You understand completely what I'm saying because you're still here. And so, next slide, please. With this comes a 30-day money-back guarantee. And the reason we offer that is because we do. Because we're so confident about the work that we do. It is highly unlikely that you will ever ask for your money back, but if you do, you can have it. Your life will up-level. You will reveal more of you. At Real Truth, we call it revelation. A lot of people call it transformation. I shared earlier about who you are, the possibility of you. It's in there right now. You just haven't revealed it. When you excavate, examine, and release, you do. So, next slide, please. We want you to go to www.realtruthintl.com/course-sale to enroll. That's what we want you to do today, after you finish listening to me talk. And if you have any questions, if you need to get in touch with us, if you've got something more that you want to say, then you can email us. And I don't know if she made the slide for email. Is it there? Okay. If you want to email us, then you can email us at aboutyou@realtruthintl.com. aboutyou@intl.com. So that's what I've got for you. Register today. Join us on April 1st. Bring 2 of your friends, or you decide to do it alone and it's just you. And keep in mind, when you bring the 2 other friends, the charge will be with one person and you work amongst yourselves the split in payments, okay? And again, if you need to reach us, it's about you. How could you forget that? Because it's about you. It's all about you. About you at realtruthintl.com. As I depart you today, I want you to really celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself for showing up. Celebrate yourself for choosing to make self-honoring choices. Make sure you do your grandeur sheets. Oh, these are the grandeur sheets. See, I'm already putting you in the Step Into The Grandeur. Make sure you do your love sheets if you haven't. Choose to step into the grandeur of you and enroll. And I will see You soon. There it is. It says so right there. Invite 4 friends. Okay, invite 4 friends. Do your moving forward love sheet. Be on the lookout for a special invitation and remind yourself often you're ready to step into your grandeur. All right. We're going to celebrate you out. I'm going to read all these beautiful comments that have come in over here while I've been talking to you. I'm so pleased that you were here. If you're sitting down, get out of your seat. I'm going to get out of my seat. And are you ready? We're ready.